what up, man?
What up, Shannon?
What's going on? What you been up to today so far?
Man,
This
just getting
beautiful
back from
day,
the
this
gym, bro.
beautiful Friday.
Trying to get that swole on. I heard the bathroom was over that way, man.
Uh-oh, look at
Bathroom
that. This is a gun show. You
over
done
there.
brought the gun show, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you have to be 18 to be on this show, that gun show.
Down at the yeah,
Where
down
was
at the
you at? Was
VFC,
you at a VFC?
VFC, baby. You know all about the VFC.
Oh yeah. Dude, every time I go to the gym, I can't help but to miss that place. Like just so many memories there. It's so just the good times and the craziness. There was so much that happened at Vast Fitness Center. Just between me, you, Jeff, Matt, Scott, Joey Abs, or Jason
Yeah,
Arndt. A lot
every
of good
day,
stories.
every day, bro. I mean, it was like I think about it all the time too, man. Just every day we was down there. It was an adventure. It was fun. People should have paid us, man. Just to come to the gym because it was fun. And it
Yeah.
was a third of the size it is now. It's grown 3 times as big. But a lot of good stories from the Vast. We call it the VFC because it's the Vast Fitness Center. Donnie Bridger's the owner. Man, just a lot of good stories, man. A lot of fun times.
Yeah. Donnie, he was our wrangler, man. Like he always took good care of us. That Joker, man, like he's awesome. It's kind of like our dads. I felt
Yeah,
like because he tried to control the craziness at times.
can't control that crazy man. He
Yeah,
tried, bless his heart, but
yeah, too much craziness, too
too
much
much
crazy.
crazy, man. It
Hey,
was a
for those that are watching that don't know much about you, like some of this new generation, some of these younger cats that don't know much about who Champagne Marty Garner is, like, dude, you got quite the history. You've did a lot, man. Like just in your time on this planet, I guess you would say. Like, God, you've had a rap album, you've been on talk shows. You've been part of WWF, the original WWF. You did work there. WCW, ECW. Um, the list goes on and on whenever it goes to wrestling.
yeah,
But one of the cool things, man, like the biggest movie star in the world, like you were Dwayne the Rock Johnson's personal assistant too, right?
yeah, man. Yeah, that was a blast. Let me tell you. Um, I told Dwayne, I said, bro, I said, man, I had the most fun in Vancouver, man. He said, of course you did. I was working, you was playing.
I
I
bet that
said,
was hard, dude. Like it was probably hard to stay focused on the job at hand, which
bro,
is making sure that, Rocky had what his need because, getting thrown into that, like, dude, that's big, man. Like that's a big party.
yeah, it was. I remember you calling me, man, when I was out in Vancouver, and you said, man, I heard some good things because Scott Matthews that came home, him and Ivory had been out there, and Philip Douglas, my cousin. You said, man, you doing it up, ain't you? And I said, man, it's fun, man. I said, it's just one continuous day. It seemed like, man. And I had a blast, man. He had me in a 5 diamond hotel. It was like an apartment style room. Everything was paid for. If I got room service, I didn't have to worry about nothing. So,
Yeah.
I'd invite somebody else. I'd invite a girl up, and I'd have the music playing. I'd have me a cheese tray. I had ordered a wine. I had wine or champagne stand in there with champagne bottle in it, and have my. I'd have my, oh God, what's the guy that used to run Playboy? Hugh Hefner. Had my Hugh Hefner robe on, a
Yeah.
cigar in my mouth. I thought I was the man,
Yeah.
and I
No,
lived
that's
it up, man. I'm gonna tell you, I
yeah.
lived it up, and it was
That's
fun.
that kind of opportunity, man. That's a once in a lifetime opportunity to get to do something like that. How did you end up, just in obviously we only have 30 minutes tonight. But just real quick, just briefly, like, dude, how did you end up being the Rock's personal assistant? Like, how did that even happen?
Well, I knew Rocky from WWE when I go up there and do jobs or whatever, man. And we'd go up there, and I just knew him. I was an acquaintance with him, and one night he invited me to go out in a limo with him and Chris Jericho, some other guys, man. And I was in a limo, and Chris Jericho gets in there and he goes, "Marty, what are you doing here?" I said, "I was invited, bro." Like he didn't think I was invited, I
Yeah.
guess. But anyway, so 2003, I went to California. Make this real quick. Went to California to do some stunts on a video game. All right. I was doing stunts on a video game, and the guy that ran the video game studio says, "Do you know The Rock?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "I know him from WWE." I said, "He knows me." He said, "Well, I'm gonna leave him a message." He said, "I got his number the other day. I met him the other day. I got his number." He said, "I'm gonna call him." He called him and said, Marty Garner's with me, man. Cham Pain's out in California, man. Give us a call. He never called the next day. And I was like, God, Marty. So the
Yeah.
guy says, let's go to the movie set, man. He's got to be there. He said he's filming a movie called The Rundown. I said, all right. And I was kind of like, oh, I don't know if we want to do that or not. Went out there. He had already left for the night. So his stunt double was there, and he said, come with me to the bar, you guys. Went with him to the bar, and I heard him, he called Rock. And he said, hey, man, I got this guy, Marty Garner. And I could hear Rock pop on the other end of the phone, man. He goes, Marty Garner, Cham Pain. He said, Cham Pain is with you right now. He goes, yeah, man, I could hear him, man. He was talking loud. And he said, put him on the phone. He said, what are you doing here, man? I said, man, I'm here doing some stunts on the video game. He said, come out to the set tomorrow night, man. He said, we'll film it on Hollywood and Vine from 12 o'clock midnight till 6 in the morning. Come out there, man. I said, well, I got Murray Happer with me, man. And he said, man, I don't care who you got. Come on, man. Went out there, man, had a blast, stayed the week. He told me, he said, man, you got to stay the weekend, man. He said, we're doing a big wrap-up party and all this. I said, well, you got to call my boss and ask him. He called my boss, man. He said, Marty can stay as long as he wants to stay. And Rock said, I got you, man. So anyway, that happened. And then you guys were out in 2003. You guys were at WrestleMania in Washington State.
Yeah.
You was out there. Shane was out there. Matt and Jeff. So I went out there too. Rock saw me out there and he said, hey, man, you got to come out to dinner with us tonight. Me and Rey Mysterio and a bunch of guys are going out to dinner. And I said, okay. He said, what room you staying in? I said, I ain't really got a room, bro. I'm just kind of winging it. He goes, what? I said, yeah, just kind of winging it, man. He goes, well, you going to stay with Tunnel White, man. He's got an extra bed in his room, my stunt double. He said, he don't mind. He said, you can stay with him. I said, okay. So at the end of the meal was like $1,600, all the drinks and the food and everything. And I threw my phone card out on the table, that little credit card used to be a phone card. And I said, here you go. Take care of it with that. And he looked at me, man. He like fell out. He goes, you better put your 20 minutes back in your pocket, boy. And I said, look here, man, go ahead and buy yourself something pretty with that too when you're done paying the bill. And he just thought that was hilarious. I asked him the next day, I said, look, man, should I go to WrestleMania, buy a ticket and go to WrestleMania, or should I go in the back? I don't know what I should do. He told me later, he said, man, you broke my heart when you asked me that. He said, that's when I told you going with me to WrestleMania tomorrow. Went with him to WrestleMania, come out on the street the next morning about 11 o'clock, and we had to run to the limo. Jumped in the limo, me, him, and a stunt double. And he said, he pulled out his glasses after we ran to the limo, pulled out his glasses. He looked at me, said, you ain't never seen no SHIT like that, have you? And I said, not in Vass, brother, not in Vass. And that's where I live, Vass. And he just died laughing. But after that, I got a call about 2 months later. He said, look, bro, you ain't never asked me for nothing. He said, I appreciate you. He said, you always want to be my friend just because you want to be my friend. He said, I appreciate that. He said, now I'm going to ask you if you want to work for me for a little while, man, on a movie. He said, ain't no full-time gig. He said, but I want you to come have some fun. He said, I think WWE did you dirty. He said, I think they should have hired you a long time ago. He said, so come have some fun, man.
Nice.
And so I did, and that was a blast, man.
What's one of the wildest stories you have from that?
From me and him, wow, there's so many.
Or just a Marty. Don't even have to include Rocky. Like, just what's a good old story, a good old Marty Garner story from.
Well, I'll tell you what was funny, man. Shane Helms, when he come out there, they were doing. Here was the coolest story. Let me go to this one. So, Rock always said, "I think you should have been in WWE, man." He said, "I think they should have gave you opportunity over there." He said, "You know they're coming to Vancouver next week." He said, "You know we're going, right?" I said, "Thank you." He said, I'm gonna show you off, dog. We walked in there with two hot chicks, man. And I was actually seeing the one girl when I was in Vancouver. Me and her were kind of seeing each other. And walked in the back door. Rock had on aviators, I had on aviators. Tommy Dreamer tells the story so good. He says, Marty, I'll never forget it. He said, I saw you and Rock come in. He said, both y'all had some good looking women with you. He said, and then both of y'all took your glasses off at the same time, the aviators, folded them up, put them in your front pocket at the same time. You and Rock were in unison, man. It was so cool, man. And but Tommy always tells that story so well. I like hearing him tell it. But so then Vince McMahon comes up to Rock, grabs him. Rock says, let me see, puny arms, bad breath, cheap watch. That's got to be Vince McMahon. Vince was like, hey. Nice. And they shook hands and whatever. First thing Rock did, he said, Vince, you remember Marty Garner, don't you? He goes, yeah, Marty, how you doing? Never done that before. Yeah. And Rock said, yeah, he works for me now, man. He's working for me on the movie set. And I was like, but
Nice.
that
Yeah.
made me feel so good, man, that Rock really, he wanted to show me off that night to Vince and let him know I was working
Yeah.
for him.
No,
And
that's
that was
cool, man. That's
great
Rocky,
experience.
man. Rocky's a cool dude. He's always treated me well. Just whether it's on the road, seeing him on the road, wherever I see him or run into him, man, like he's always super cool, man. Like,
Great dude, man. He
yeah,
treats everybody good. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
Never heard him say
absolutely.
anything bad about people. He's always positive and good dude. And Shane Helms come out with us. He didn't think Vancouver was going to be that cool. That Joker was up for 3 days straight. I
Yeah,
had him out in Vancouver for 3 days straight, and he was still trying to work and stuff too. He said, "Bro, they'll like to kill me."
yeah, dude. Vancouver, man. Vancouver's a spot. Like it's
Oh man,
man, if you
dude,
want to have a good time, especially if you're single, Vancouver is the place to be. Like there's
bro. On
no
Fridays,
place like it.
I'd get my money deposited into my account, and at the time, I was making $2,500 a week. No, not I didn't have to pay no expenses. I had $2,500 a week every week, and all expenses paid. So I'd go shopping every Friday for a new shirt to wear to the club, new pants, whatever, man. And then we'd go out that Friday night. We'd go to Joe Forte's, man. We get these big ribeye steaks, man. We're sitting on the top of the roof of the hotel, or not the hotel, but the building. We're on the very top of the building on a patio outside, looking over the whole
Yeah,
city. And I'm like, dude, this is it, man. This is
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Vancouver's beautiful, man. What a place! What a place to go visit.
Oh
Um, but now, man, like the hot topic now, like we got to get to that, just because like lately there's been a lot of talk about you and Matt Cardona, this
yeah,
match. Dude, like, do you think this Matt Cardona and Champagne match, you think is gonna happen, or like where's
man.
that standing at right now?
I think it's gonna happen. It depends on how's it gonna happen, where's it gonna happen, because Cardona's schedule is already about booked up for 2023. He said
Yeah,
that a month ago. And because he was on Matt Hardy's podcast, and he even said that. He said, he said, y'all work Marty anytime, anywhere. He said, but he said, my calendar is almost filled up. He said, he better hurry up and find somebody to pad the lobe, the
yeah,
envelope. He said, if he don't find somebody to pad that lobe soon, he said, man, my schedule is gonna be booked up. He said, he dodged me at GCW. He said he got booked at GCW knowing I wasn't going to be there that weekend. He said
yeah,
he got booked and I wasn't there.
yeah,
And he said, so he said, yeah. He said, I work Marty. And so he's all up for working me, man. And he goes back and forth with Matt Hardy sometimes, and Shane Helms. They were talking trash to him on Twitter a couple of weeks ago. They was like, man, you better be glad you're getting a PG champagne instead of the old champagne. And so Shane and Matt kept going at him about that. And he said, don't encourage him, Shane.
yeah,
Don't pump him up. And so anyway, and then you said something about where you at, promoters.
yeah.
This is going to be the match of the year, match of the century, whatever. And it will be if they get, man. That's all I'm focused on right now, because, like I told you before, this could make me relevant again.
Yeah,
It's
that's what I was that's what I was gonna ask you, is like, why is this so important? Like, you've put a lot of time, you've put a lot of effort. You've talked about it for a long time. Like, why is this match so important to you?
well. Here's the reason. you know, I'm not afraid to go to talk to anybody. I'm not afraid to go to somebody and say, look, let's do this. Like in my company I work for now, somebody said, you went to the boss man and asked him this, and this, and this. I said, yeah, that's why I have a new truck. I got new equipment. I got all this stuff. I said, because I went to the big dog. I said, I go straight to the top. Just like Matt Cardona's the hottest guy on the indies right now. I went straight to it. Why mess? I ain't got time to mess around. I'm just coming back into the business after about 11 years.
Yeah,
And and before that 11 years, I was kind of drifting off the 5 years before that anyway. So it's been about really 16 years since I've been in the business full time, hardcore, working every weekend, stuff like that. So I have to get relevant again, man. And it's hard to
yeah,
get relevant when you got people that have never seen you before, like these kids that are 18, 19, 20. Man, they were 8, they were 8 and 9 whenever I went out. That they were
yeah,
younger than that, really, because if you take 16 years, really, I hadn't really been in the business for 16 years, because I was dabbling for about 5 years until I got out. I was kind of dabbling here and there. So it's been about 16, really. And so just trying to get people to believe in me again, to know who Champagne is, that,
yeah,
I'm the guy on the mic, I'm the verbal assassin, You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it makes sense, man. And I think this is the match that can do that. Like, I definitely do. I mean, looking at it like that, looking at it as straight business. Sorry, that's my killer 2-pound chihuahua, like going after my bulldogs right now.
Not a problem, man.
They lay in here with me, but they go nuts like anytime I'm trying to film anything. So never mind them. But yeah, dude, like Matt Cardona, like if you get this match, man, if you guys get to go out there, you've been training for it, you've been in the gym, like I've seen you, I've seen your body, I've seen how good of a shape you've got in. I think that this would be the match that could, like bring you back, that could give you that, like put you in a new spot, like a spot you've never been in. I think that you'd get a chance to prove yourself. You can show what you can do in the ring. You can show what you can do on the mic. And like I think from there, like Cham Pain, man, this 2023 Cham Pain, especially the older Cham Pain, like timing's everything. And I think 2023 could be big if you do get this match with Matt.
I do too, man, and I appreciate that. But yeah, when I'm in a gym and I'm working hard and I feel like I can't do anything else, I'm thinking Cardona, I got to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he's gonna bring. If we get in the ring, he's gonna bring it. He ain't gonna be light. He's gonna bring it.
Yeah.
And I know that, and that's great. I want him to. I don't want him to show me any kind of slack at all. I want him to bring the best he's got because I'm gonna bring everything I got.
Yeah.
And when I went to GCW, man, I worked Ratty Daddy, and man, he is a great worker. And I just didn't do any of my high spots or anything because I don't know why, I was just I was a little bit nerved up, like I didn't want to do anything wrong because I'm at GCW and I should have
Yeah.
showed out a little bit more than I did. And I was so upset that I didn't. It wasn't on purpose. It just, I mean, I was in there and I don't know. We had a good match. I just
Yeah.
didn't do any big high spots or anything, in which
Well,
I
you know
like.
what, dude? Like Cham Pain don't have to. Like Cham Pain's more of an entertaining character. I feel like I
Yeah,
think
he
you can
is.
do
He is.
like you don't have to go out there and land on your head every time. Like you go
Right.
out. People want to hear Cham Pain talk. I think.
Well,
And
after I did my spiel at GCW, the crowd started chanting, "You still got it. You still
where
got
was
it."
that match at? Where'd you have?
It was
Where was
in
GC?
Concord up there by Charlotte.
Yeah,
It was pretty much in Charlotte, but Concord is what we had at Concord Convention Center.
so that's
And
cool. That was that was at home basically for you. So
yeah,
that's
man,
pretty
it was
cool.
great, man. And Bressa, man, great match. He said, "Won't have you back sometime, man, and stay in touch." And so I was like, "Man, yes, sir, I'd love to."
And for you watching, like GCW is one of the biggest promotions, one of the biggest indie promotions out there now. Like they're, drawing huge crowds. Like they got a lot of really good talent there, and their shows, man, like it's the show that you want to go see. So, like, dude, the fact that you already, you've got a good relationship with GCW and you're jumping on their shows, and like you hit
Right.
this match with Matt Cardona coming up, hopefully. And like, dude, I think you'll be back into the race, man, after that.
Well, here's the thing too that I wanted to express to Brett Lauderdale, some of these promoters. Look, with you and Matt Hardy and Shane Helms and all these guys who could promote this match, man, it could be big. The
Yeah.
promotion of this match could be big, and I know it's hard to fathom that right now. Where some of these promoters are like, "Well, Cham Pain ain't been in the game for a long time, and all of a sudden he's back, and I'm supposed to throw him in a main event with Matt Cardona." Well, here's the thing: we build that up on the
Well, that's
internet.
the thing. Like they got to understand it's all in what you make it. And it's like with your history, you got enough there to tell a story. You got enough there to build it. There's enough people out there with a big enough internet following that could get some interest behind this match. And Matt being the hottest thing out there, like he's going to sell tickets. Like
Oh,
people's going to come to the show to watch it. It's just you got to
absolutely.
figure out like how to promote it. And that's the thing with promoters, man. Like some of these promoters, they don't even know how to do that. Like some of these newer promoters, it's like they want to go for the shock value shows. They don't want to put the promoting in and just throw a bunch of talent on a card and then, like hope that they can bring in a couple of talents that's going to draw the people there. And
Right.
it's like the days of, and some people do it great still. Some people, even some of the newer promoters, like they're doing it great. But I think there's a lot of people out there that's just trying to run these hot shot shows. And when the people don't show up, whenever they don't come back, they don't know why. And it's like, man, you have
Right.
to promote, you have to tell stories. If you want the
Yep.
people to come, you have to tell that story. And you
That's right.
guys, both of you, have enough history. And you got enough people in your corner, enough people that you've been involved with to where the story's there, you know?
Yeah, well, you know, and two, when another guy just thought of Caprice Coleman pushes stuff for me sometimes too, and I'm like, man, with you four guys pushing that, man, and just tell a story, and Matt's mic skills, my mic skills, dude, it could be epic, man. And
Yeah.
I I'm telling you, bro, I'm gonna show out. If that match happens, I'm gonna show out. I promise you.
Yeah, go all out, man. You know, whenever Matt showed up in GCW, like that was cool whenever he did the hardcore stuff.
Yeah,
Once again, there goes my killer, my
I didn't even
2 pound
hear you.
killer. You didn't? Yeah, she's going crazy. Yeah, dude, when Matt showed up and he did that hardcore stuff in GCW, like it was awesome. And that
Yeah,
I think it redefined his character and kind of who he was. And
yep,
it just it took him to this level of, you know, that, you know, he was sent off from there. And now he's the biggest star out there on the indies, or I don't even like to say indies, just he's a star now. You know what I
right.
mean? Like WWE, like, you know, it was kind of the thumb was on him. He was kind of held back. And just what he's done for himself on the indies, it's been amazing. And if you get the opportunity to get in the ring with him, it's going to do the same thing for you. Like he's going to bring you up. He's going to pull you up,
Yeah,
and that'll get you back to work. It'll get you back on the road. And I think put
right.
some you know, legitimize Champagne for 2023.
and 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 I appreciate that, man. I think it would too. It would build me up. And the thing is, though, you say, well, what does it do for him? You know it. And I'm telling you, once this match happens, I can talk all day. Until this match happens, nobody's gonna know what I could do to make this
Yeah.
good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This could be an epic match for him because I know he's had some good ones, but I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I got some things in my mind that I think we could do that would be absolutely off the chart, man.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome, man. Like
that's my thing. I want to do it better than anybody's done it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And if you don't think you can go out there and do an epic match, then you don't need to be in this business because
Yeah.
you need to believe in you more than anybody else does.
Yeah,
And you got to
absolutely.
believe you're one of the best dudes in that ring when you get in that ring. If you go
Yeah.
in there with any doubt, you're not going to have a good match.
Well,
So
confidence is a big factor, man. Whenever it comes to character, whenever it comes to walking through those curtains, whether it's WrestleMania with 100,000 people, whether it's, you know, 10 people in the crowd, like whenever
yeah,
you walk through that curtain, if you're not confident in your skills, you're not confident in your character, and whenever you get in the ring, you're not confident, like the people's going to feel that, man. They feel that energy. And it's
right.
like confidence is everything whenever it comes to these matches. And like, you know, Champagne, that character, anyways, Champagne's a confident character. Just, you
Right.
know,
Oh yeah, yeah. And you know, I had a guy come to me, CJ Evans. He's a wrestler on some of these shows I'm on, and he goes, Marty. He said, "You never look like you're nervous when you're going out to the ring." I said, I'm not, man. Really, I said, I'm waiting to perform. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I'm waiting to get out there. I said, I'm itching because it's going to be fun. I said,
yeah,
man, I've been in the game a long time, bro. I said, so no, I said, yeah, I want everything to go right. I said, but if it don't, we just have to improvise and overcome. You know what I mean? You're
yeah,
going to just come up with something and make it work. And I said, I think I can do that. And I said, when I was younger, yeah, I probably was a little nervous before I went out. I said, but now I said I turned those nerves into confidence. You know what I mean? I
yeah.
said, if I am a little bit, shaky about something, I'm like, man, what are you worried about? You got this, man. I talked myself out of that mess. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm always ready, man. Like
Cool.
Cardona says, always ready. Like I
Yeah,
said,
man. If let's just say that match happens and then I don't know, maybe you have a rematch with him. Who do you have your eyes set on after Matt? Like who's a couple of people out there now that you have eyes on that you think you could rip it up with, that you think you could go out there and kill it and have some good
um,
stuff with?
and this is just for the historical thing about me and Jeff Jarrett. I love to work Jeff again with a legitimate match because
Yeah.
at WWE I had to work him a couple times and I had a job to him.
And that's
Now I
whenever
want to Jarrett.
you about killed yourself, right?
Yeah, exactly. Now I just want to get some revenge. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of guys, man. I like the word Vikingo, man. El
Yeah.
Vikingo, this Joker
Yeah.
is unreal. I don't
Yeah.
know how long I can hang with him, but I would love to be in the ring with him just a little bit. That
No,
kid can go.
that's cool.
Um,
And you know, these guys, like, there's so many good guys out there, this new talent that's out there, man. Like,
yeah,
there's so many guys that I've been out there, you know, I took about 6 months off just because I bought a house and I've been doing a lot of work on that. But there's so many good guys out there. And then whenever you mix somebody that's been around for a while, somebody, whenever it comes to psychology, somebody
Yeah.
whenever, like they've been in a ring for a while when they're comfortable and they can lead. Man, you put those two together and it's a perfect storm, man. Like the pace of the match, just
Yeah.
the spots are good, the psychology is good. And I
That's
think that's something that you'll be able to bring to a lot of the younger talent. Some of the talent out there is just the fact of, being aware of what psychology is.
yeah.
And on top of your move sets too, like I think that's something that it'll mix well with some of these newer talents out there.
I would hope, because back in the day we did a hybrid style anyway. All of us did. You know what I mean? We were lucha libre and American strong. All this crazy. We did all kind of stuff. We did every kind of style there was. We just kind of mixed them all together. We were mixed. We were mixed wrestling arts back in the day, pretty much, because we all did crazy stuff that hadn't been done before. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah.
we're a little bit ahead of our time back in our day.
Yeah,
And
no, without a doubt, we all were. Like our whole crew, like we were way ahead of the bubble.
yeah,
Because we were studying tapes from Japan, we were studying tapes from Mexico.
yep,
So we mixed the American style with all the other styles across the world, and we came
right,
up with our own style. And that stuff's legendary, and it still stands to the test of time. And
yeah,
speaking of that, man, like those tape libraries, like our mega tapes, even the NFWA stuff, on into the Hardy Show stuff, like the Hardy
right.
Show stuff, like we were a little crazy in some of those clips. So I know like some of that stuff would have to be edited, but man, hopefully one day that stuff gets out there because there's so many hours of hard work from all of us that's in these tape libraries and
Yeah,
nobody's benefiting from it. Like the people aren't
yeah,
getting to see it.
yeah.
And financially, like, dude, those tapes are worth money, man. Like, there's so much talent on those tapes, and it
Well,
could be financially beneficial for everybody.
absolutely. And back in the day, the MTV went to Matt and was offering him a multi-million-dollar deal that Vince wouldn't let him do it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I was actually in that meeting with Stuart Levy. It was Tupac Shakur's lawyer in New York. I was part of that meeting, and yeah, man, just the timing wasn't right, and Matt chose to go back to WWE
Yeah.
and do that, and then it just kind of fell apart.
But
But
those tapes are supposed to be released this year for the first time on Mega Tapes. They're saying they're going to release them, and everybody's going to benefit. We hope. We'll see.
yeah. Well, hopefully they get put out there. Hopefully that tape library comes alive and the people can
Yeah.
enjoy some of the hard work that we did back then.
Yeah. But yeah, getting to some of the, man, I watch all the wrestling. I watch Impact, ROH, I watch AEW, WWE, man, and there's so much talent out there. NXT, so much talent, man, and
Yeah.
I'm so proud of Tracy Cadell's son, Cameron
Yeah.
Grimes. Y'all know him as Cameron Grimes, man. Trevor, man, he's a
Yeah.
WWE now, and he was a little baby whenever we were out there working out in the ring on Sundays. He was a little baby,
Yeah,
and
dude, I'll tell you what, what put it in perspective to me, and it was weird, so weird, like for a little bit was I was going up and I was guest coaching for WWE at NXT for, I don't know, for several months, a couple times a month in Orlando at the Performance Center. And Trevor was there. Like Trevor was Cameron, he was there. And, on the tours, the coconut tours that they would do around Florida, it's like, their house shows. I was one of the producers on the show. So, I would get to work with Trevor and it was just, man, like just going from us being in, Tracy's backyard in this ring and Trevor running around could just walk,
right,
like, throwing him out of the ring on mattresses and like
right.
just fighting with him in the ring as this tiny child. And then
Yeah,
not only see like how great of a wrestler he is today, but like, dude, he's a man, like he's got a family now, he's got a house. Like
don't seem
it's
right.
yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts to see these kids now, like these, the guys that we grew up with, and to see these second generations like
Yeah,
come into play now, and then get in there and actually work with them, like Colby Carino.
I was getting ready to say Colby Carino too.
Yeah, I had a match
Yeah,
with Colby in where at Cocoa Beach, Melbourne, somewhere like
yeah.
that.
Kid can work,
And
man.
yeah, so we went out there, we ripped it up, but it was so cool to be in there with Colby, which is like Steve's from the history with Steve from back in the day. It was like
Yeah,
being in there with my buddy's kids, like it's really cool to see these guys, like advance in the game and then get an opportunity to make some money and just do their thing. So yeah.
right. And they're both of those guys are tremendous workers, man.
Yeah.
We and Trevor or Cameron. Man, tremendous workers, bro. It just makes me smile every time I see, Cameron get in the ring, man. I'm like, this Joker right here is something else, man.
They didn't
And
have a
Kobe took,
choice. They're born into it, like
yeah,
these
they're
guys,
born into it, man.
they're born into it. It's
I saw
like,
Kobe that day. He's got a mustache, and I'm like, dude, how'd you get that? You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah, where'd that come from?
What happened, bro? You grew up. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
but
Bro.
I
I'm
don't think
proud of
they
those
had a
guys, man.
choice. Yeah, I don't think they had a choice, but it's cool to see. And hopefully, I think we ever, just the fact of, like with Trevor, like all of us, the time that he spent in the ring with us, like, that dude was destined to be one of the best wrestlers. And he
Oh,
is.
yeah, it's unreal because we didn't realize how much he was learning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we wasn't out there trying to teach him a lot of stuff, but it's just he picked it up. You know what I mean? And it just like subconsciously, I think, man, he just got good.
Yeah.
He knew how to do it, and unreal, man,
Yeah.
unreal.
He's doing great, man, up there. I'm gonna throw a few names out there, man. Give me whenever I throw a name out there, just like a brief description of these
Okay,
names I throw at you. I want to hear what you
okay,
have to say. Matt Hardy,
hard worker,
Jeff Hardy,
nose to the grindstone businessman,
Jeff Hardy,
laid back, chill, a lot of talent. Don't like the business. Don't like doing business. He likes the business, but he don't like doing business.
Steve Carino,
Uh, Great worker, clown on the side. Never forget one night, Steve, he was out in the ring and I thought he had abs. I go, Steve Carino's got abs. That's crazy. Because he always said he was skinny fat. I said, he's got abs. And he come to the locker room and he had taken an eyebrow pencil and kind of traced out where his abs were supposed to be.
yeah,
And it looked like he had abs, but he didn't.
nice.
So, clownish.
Thomas Simpson,
Southern Belle, a male version of a Southern Belle.
nice,
Absolutely. Uh, Gone with the wind type of dude. You know what I'm saying?
nice. Tommy Dreamer,
Tommy Dreamer. I love Tommy. Um, what can I say about Tommy? Tommy knows everything about everybody. Everything. I mean, you name something, man. A lot of information there, man. Tommy knows your history, his history. What he's doing now, where he's at. Um, Tommy is a great, great dude, man. I love being around Tommy. Makes me laugh.
yeah. Scott Matthews,
Scott Matthews, very talented, very smart. I mean, he's a professional engineer, professional surveyor. He was the exhibition shooter for Benelli Rifles. He took Tom Platt's spot when Tom retired, which was a big deal. If anybody knows anything about shooting, Scott is incredible. You can go to see his videos on extreme shotgun shooting on the internet, and he used to wrestle with us as the Black Skull. And but Scott is very talented. Anything he puts his mind to, he's gonna do it.
dude. Speaking of Scott, I got to spend some time with Scott, and like we hit the gym some. We were working out, and that Joker, man, like I was pushing him and trying to choke him with the barbells, like just pushing him because he hadn't worked out in a while. He hit me with the Shannon.
Yeah.
But he, dude, he told a story. I know you corrected me. You said it's not you, but he told me a story about a dude in the gym. And at the time, I thought it was you. Dude, tell that story about the gym with the dude that was on the incline bench real
Okay.
quick. Like, we'll finish it. We ain't got but like 2 minutes. So
Okay. Well, there's a
just real
guy.
quick. Yeah.
He was on the incline bench and he couldn't get the bar up. He was stuck right here on his chest. And the dude that was spotting him, he said, "Hey man, get this thing off me." And the dude that was spotting him takes out his penis and he smacks him on the head twice with it on the forehead, and a pea drop landed on my man's forehead. And my man that couldn't get the weight up got the weight up. Then he got the weight up, rack, and ran after that dude. And man, I laughed for an hour, man.
Man, was in the gym and he told that story, and a couple of the guys were there with us, and man, like it was so funny. But he thought it was you. Like he said that
Yeah,
Marty did it, and I didn't know. Dude, I was
yeah.
dying laughing. I was like, "Ooh, I forgot
I
all
wished
about
I
that."
had done it because I would have took credit for that one. That was
Yeah,
so. This man had a pea drop on his head now. Oh man, That was awesome.
Nice. Yeah, dude, I would kill somebody. There's no way. There's no way. No
A
way.
mushroom tap. You get the
Yeah,
mushroom
man.
tap, man. You
Oh
got to kill somebody.
God. Well,
Uh,
dude, real quick, man, before we get off here, this Matt Cardona match with you, like it's super important. If you're a promoter that's out there watching, or if you're a wrestling fan that knows about Cham Pain, knows who Cham Pain is, knows who Matt Cardona is, and you want to see this match, like let's make it happen, man. Like email the promoters that's close to you that run shows near you. If you're a promoter listening, like, man, make it happen. You're gonna make money on this. Matt's going to sell tickets for you. Marty's going to sell tickets for you. People are going to come watch this and it'll go down in history, man. So make sure that if you can make this happen, let's do it, man. Like 2023 is getting tight for Matt now. So we need to get this booked. Marty,
right.
if these promoters or anybody wants to contact you about shows or appearances or anything like that, like where can they get you at?
Marty Garner 2014 at Yahoo. You can get me on Instagram as Cham Pain, CHAMPAIN 22. And you can get me on Twitter at Marty_Garner.
Cool, man. Marty, dude, it was so cool to catch up with you. It's been a while since we chatted. Thanks for coming on, and I'll holler at you next time.
All right, boy. Thank you. I enjoyed
Peace.
it.